Hi, this is Sandy. I wanted to talk briefly about the existing money system, how it affects my life, and how I see it affects others' lives. I always questioned the way the system was set up. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. I did what I was supposed to. For lack of knowing what else to do, actually. I took business. I thought that was kind of a common sense approach to life. Um, so I did what I was supposed to. I went to university, got my diploma. I used that to talk myself into my way into a decent job. I was in sales. I was quite aggressive, sometimes not completely honest with what I needed to do to excel, to stand out, to win salesperson of the month, or to win a trip that year. So I was good at this. I was aggressive at it. I thought this is something I can do. It was a matter of showing up and doing the work and perhaps stretching the truth a little. And I made good money and I was rewarded with some free trips, etc. I married a man expecting him to financially take care of me. Didn't turn out that way. Through several factors, our marriage split up. I had 2 young kids, and unfortunately we lost all the money before the marriage split up. So I found myself with 2 young kids and no money. I did receive a child support, which was great. I did try and go back to work full time. I got fired for being late too many times. So what I did was I had a small daycare in my home. Eventually, I was, because I came from a family who had money, I was able to start again and buy a home. I'm very fortunate and grateful for that. My parents helped me with a down payment, and my ex-in-laws helped me with a down payment. So I was able to use my home to make income. Again, I had a daycare and I rented out, I made a basement apartment. My brother helped me with that. And in the summer, I rented the upstairs rooms out to foreign students. However, the cost of living in Toronto is very high, and I kept finding myself getting behind. And so what I did 2 things. I refinanced my mortgage several times to stay afloat, just even, not save any money. And I borrowed money from my mother, from my ex-in-laws, and from my ex-brother and sister-in-law. I wasn't mentally well, and for a number of years I drank alcoholically. So I was in a number of vicious downward spirals, one being alcoholism, another one being the debt trap. I remember when I was younger, my father saying to me, "Sandy, don't ever get into debt. You'll never get out." And I also remember him saying to me, "Don't take money out of your house." Anyway, kind of like when your mom says, "Make sure you wear a hat" when you're a little kid. And you're like, "I'm not wearing a hat. It doesn't look good." And you freeze that day, right? Always comes true. So I chose to stay home for a number of reasons. One of those reasons was I loved writing music, and I was quite stubborn. I chose to do this. That's a very difficult way to try to make money. I didn't make any money from it. It certainly was enjoyable and fun. And I met a lot of really fun people. But when you're kind of clogging along and you see your peers, I'd see my family members, friends I grew up with, friends I'd met through my marriage, becoming quite wealthy, a number of them, not everyone. I started having feelings of less than. Okay, feelings of less than anyway. but more and more. So you go to the child's birthday party and everybody's buying a $50 gift for this kid's birthday. I couldn't keep up. It was really hard. Um, and then I'd see the opulence in which they were living, and so you feel less than and less than. You get a little beaten, you get beaten down as well when you owe money. There's pretty heavy guilt feelings. Then some things are said, and of course, abusing alcohol did not help, obviously. Um, things are said, understandably, they want their money. Just to mention, the people I owed money to, who I still owe money to, have money. That's not an excuse. I owe them money. So feelings of guilt became heavier. And what happens is, people tend to get a little angry if you haven't paid them back. And this fueled resentment and anger in me. It might not even have been mentioned, but it's subtly mentioned, or someone offers to help pay for a tutor for your child, and you owe them money, and you can't afford to pay for the tutor for your child, and you just feel less than and less than and less than over time. And then this would eventually fuel feelings of anger and resentment in me, but because in fact they were kind to help me out when I needed it, then the feelings, heavier feelings of guilt. And again, so there's a real downward spiral. The money that I owed to the bank, to the interest, the mortgage would be higher and higher, of course, and most of this is interest. And with the cost of living and raising kids, and my ex helped out much with this. I don't want to make it sound like I was all on my own raising the kids. His parents helped. Many of the things, because I lived in Toronto and was surrounded, and my children were surrounded by people with money, there's a certain expectation and kind of level, and even with the children themselves. So certain things would cost a lot of money, more than I would have otherwise spent. I'll just give one example. One example would be going to university. The kids are older now. And so this woman who's my ex-mother-in-law would say, or my ex, they'd say, well, it's going to be the cost of university. And I'd say, well, gee, the kids can stay home at my house. They can go to George Brown, University of Toronto, whatever, and get a student loan. Many people do this, and we'd get by, Oh, no. We'll be paying for that education. But then it turned out it wasn't all paid for, and there's several things involved in that. Then there's the cost of living on campus. Then they buy my daughter a car, which is all well and good and generous. It's not that it isn't. But then she's expected to go up to their chalet and ski, and it's very involved and very confusing to me. But the standard of living was so high, it's very hard to keep up to, and it was expected of them. And then they're my kids, so I do my best to help pay what I could, and then I'm paying for things that I wouldn't have chosen myself, and I don't have any extra money to pay a debt payment. I'm just kind of getting by. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just trying to explain something. I have a very good life, and I've been remarried now for 3 years, and I don't want to complain at all. I'm very grateful for my life. I have everything I need. Most people in the world don't have the opportunity to get out of the poverty they're even born into, let alone into debt. I'm very aware of this. And just quickly, the thing I wanted to say was, the thing that's promoted in our society, that's been very clear to me my whole life, is, without it being said, is really, we can notice these people, we can see them, and have empathy. That's too bad. I'm sorry to see others have nothing and are suffering and have no opportunity. But then, shut up about it. Okay, give them some money. What do you want to do? Give them $50. Give $50 to this person who's building a school for these kids. Now there you go. That's your contribution. Now shut up. Make money, however way you make money. Be in the system. Make money. Pay your property tax. Pay your bills. And be done with it. So self-interest. Take care of you and your family. Forget the rest. It's too big. You can't change it. If it makes you feel better, it's not said this way, but if it makes me feel better to have one child I sponsor through World Vision, okay, fine, then do that. But it doesn't change the world. The world isn't changing. The world hasn't changed. You just have to take a realistic look or watch the news. And you can see the world has not changed. There are so many people who don't have basic necessities. Clean water, a decent place to sleep, health care, proper education that's going to help them advance in this society that we have set up. Most of the world doesn't have this. I think that's really all I wanted to say on this topic, except for when I found this site, Destiny. It's Destiny with an I. To me, it seemed full of common sense. Practically taking a look at real situations in the world, having a practical solution, which would be equal money. I am one vote for world equality, and I am one vote for equal money. A democratic solution, so that all people and all animals have what they need from birth to death. Have food that they need to eat. Have a warm place to sleep. I live in Toronto, and I just am. I'm just aghast some nights when it's so cold, and there are people on the street. And some of these people freeze to death. What a horrible way to die. And we ignore it. And we throw them a loonie, $1. And there's a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness that goes with that. And so at Destiny we look to a practical solution, one that will work for all people, and taking care of each other, and knowing that we are, in fact, all equal. We are, in fact, one. We're humankind, and we are the stewards of this earth and of the animals and plants in this earth. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of a solution that is a practical solution that can work for everyone. Thank you.